Alright, and here is the finished product. So it almost comes out like an egg soup as opposed to scrambled eggs. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. It's been a while since I've uploaded a recipe video, so I decided to start a new segment called Carnivore Kitchen, where I will be making several recipes for you. And today, I am going to be making one of my favorite recipes, which is how I make my scrambled eggs. Before I show you how to make my scrambled eggs, I would just like to ask that if you're either new to the channel or haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, as I will be uploading daily videos, including recipe videos. Now, what you're going to need for today, you will need a cast iron or ceramic skillet. Personally, when making scrambled eggs, I prefer to use ceramic because it's easier to clean up. When you make scrambled eggs on a cast iron skillet, I find that it leaves a little bit of a white film on the skillet and it doesn't go away until after a few uses. So ceramic is going to be much easier to use. The other things you're going to need are a couple bowls to separate the egg whites from the egg yolks. You will also need some eggs. I'm going to be making a 6-egg scrambled egg concoction today. And if you don't know how to separate your egg whites from the yolks, there's this cool little thing called a frog separator where it helps you to separate the yolks from the eggs. I am just going to make it the regular way because I have used this one time and I find that it just doesn't remove enough of the egg white, so I am going to do it manually. But this is a good option if you don't know how to separate it yourself. If you do mind a little bit of whites with your yolk, then not the best. But for me personally, I'm just going to do it by hand. The other things you're going to need are a couple little bowls to put the yolks in one, the whites in the other. You're going to need a fork just to help crack the eggs. You will also need a spatula to mix everything, and you will need some MCT oil, which I have right over here. Now, if you do not have MCT oil, or if you want to be a super carnivore and be 100% strict, you can use either ghee or butter. When I'm using the ceramic skillet, I tend to use MCT oil just because it doesn't require that much oil at all. But again, it's going to be your own personal preference. Do how you do. Now, what we're going to do first is just separate the yolks from the white. One of the reasons why I make it this way is because me personally, I do prefer my eggs to be more on the runny side. And the other thing too is, just in general, I prefer the taste of the yolk when it is raw as opposed to cooked. Now, if you're not a fan of raw yolks and you prefer them more well done, you don't have to make it this way. You can skip this step and just go ahead and put everything right in the skillet without having to do any of this. But me personally, I prefer the taste of raw yolks to cooked yolks, so that's why I'm going to make it this way. It is a little bit of an extra step. Whoops, I accidentally dropped one of the yolks in there. Luckily it didn't break though, so we're still good. There is also an added benefit to not cooking your yolks. One of the added benefits is a lot of people, they have a misconception about cholesterol when it comes to eggs. One of the things with regard to cholesterol is that cholesterol is self-regulated in the body. What that means is that if you consume a lot of cholesterol, your body's not going to produce as much. If you don't consume a lot of cholesterol, your body will produce more. And another thing with regard to cholesterol is your body, a lot of it's going to have to do with genetics. People who tend to have issues with cholesterol, there's a big genetic component to it. So if you don't have issues with cholesterol, if it doesn't run in the family, then chances are you're not really going to have an issue. But again, you will want to get some blood work done, not for eating eggs, but just in general. It's good to get blood work done, see where exactly everything's at, so you can be the healthiest version of you possible. And, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, one of the other things with regard to eggs and the yolk. Another thing with regard to cholesterol and eggs is, unless you oxidize the cholesterol in the egg yolk, it's not really a problem. And the way to oxidize the cholesterol in the yolk is by cooking it. So another added benefit to having more of a raw yolk is that the cholesterol is not oxidized, which makes it a little bit healthier. Me personally, luckily, I happen to like the way it comes out this way. If you don't like the way it tastes, then just keep doing it regularly. You don't have to keep doing everything just for the sake of health and not enjoy your food. Me personally, it's an added benefit that it is healthier this way, but that's not why I do it. I just do it this way because I genuinely like the way it tastes better than doing regular scrambled eggs. And if you're the type of person, again, that likes your yolks a little bit more runny and your whites well cooked, then this is gonna be the recipe for you. Give it a try, and if you like your yolks runny, I promise you are going to love making scrambled eggs this way, and you will always make it this way. So far so good. Got through all 6 eggs and not one yolk, hopefully I don't jinx myself, has cracked into the whites. Okay, there we go. All of our eggs are separated. One thing I forgot to mention, just got it out of the counter, is you are going to need some Himalayan sea salt. You don't have to use Himalayan. Me personally, I prefer the taste of Himalayan sea salt, and also it is better than your regular bleached white table salt because it does still have all of its minerals intact. So if you are going to use salt, preferably either Himalayan sea salt or Celtic sea salt is going to be ideal. If you don't have that, or if you're working on a budget, then you can use regular and salt it the way you normally would. However, me personally, this is the one that I like to use. Now, what we're gonna do is turn the burner on, and we wanna put it on medium-high heat, and we are going to spray the pan. So this right over here, it's just a regular spray bottle. What the label says is not what's in here. I actually use the Garden of Life MCT oil. The reason I use that one is because it's a pretty good price for the amount you get. It's, I believe, $37 for a 946 milliliter bottle. And Dr. David Perlmutter is the one who formulated it. That's not why I get it, but I do like some of his work. I don't agree with everything that he says, but I do enjoy a lot of what he says. And I don't mind spending a little bit extra money to support companies that I like and people that I like. And he is a person that I have learned from, and Garden of Life is a company that I trust, so I don't mind spending a little bit extra money to support the company and the man. Now, what you're gonna do is just put as much as you want. Me personally, I do really well on high fat, so I'm gonna spray the crap out of that pan. And next step is going to be to put the egg whites in. Now when you are putting the egg whites in, while I'm waiting for that to heat up, I'm just going to take these yolks right over here and just stir them up a little bit. Oh, and actually another thing that I forgot was to get a plate to put all this stuff in, so I'm just going to be right back in 1 second. There we go, I got my plate right over there. Feels pretty good. So I'm just going to put the egg whites in the bowl. Again, we have 6 eggs in here. You could put however many you like. Me personally, when I make scrambled eggs, 6 is a good number for me. I like to put in 6, so that's what I'm doing. And then once you put it in the pan, right from the beginning, you want to stir it constantly. You don't want to stop stirring it until you are finished cooking. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to keep stirring it. Once it gets a little bit cooked, this is a trick that I learned from watching Gordon Ramsay cooking videos. We're gonna take it off the burner, keep stirring it, put it back on the burner, take it off again, put it back on, take it off, salt it, and then put it back on one final time. So right now you can't really see from that angle, but it's starting to get a little bit cooked. The whites are starting to become white and not so yellowy. What I'm going to do right now is take it off the burner for a little bit. Right now I have the burner at a 6. This one over here, it goes up to a 10. Different ovens and different stove tops are going to be a little bit different, so you're going to have to find what temperature and what setting is good for you. For this one, I find a 6 to be really good. Alright, time to take it off the burner one more time. We're going to stir it a little bit, let the pan cool off a bit, and then once we finish stirring it, we're going to put it on the burner one more time before removing it and putting on the salt. If you want to add anything else, you can add some other stuff. Me personally, all I'm going to do is just put a little bit of salt, because that's how I like my scrambled eggs. I used to put a ton of garlic in my scrambled eggs and some other stuff. However, since starting the carnivore diet this last time, I've been trying to be as strict as possible, so all I've been using is salt. And then if I do want to season my food at all, if I do put anything, I'll put a little bit of either Parmesan or blue cheese. but I don't really put anything in terms of other spices. If it's a plant, I'm avoiding it for right now, because I am feeling amazing as of late, so I figured why not just keep doing what I'm doing. And for me personally, I have pretty plain taste. Like, I could season it with a ton of stuff and enjoy it, or I could just have it with salt and enjoy it. It doesn't really bother me. I'll eat anything, really. Which is probably why I got diagnosed with ulcerative colitis in 2010, because when I was a kid, I used to abuse the crap out of my stomach. You should have seen what I ate when I was a kid. If you guys think that I ate healthy my entire life, hell no. The amount of microwave dinners that I consumed as a kid was ridiculous. Not only microwave dinners, but it was... My background's Italian, so it was all processed meats on processed bread. Those were my lunches until I started cooking for myself. If you want to use just the already ground up Himalayan sea salt, you can do that as well. Me personally, I like this one over here. I like the salt a little bit more on the coarse side. But again, it comes down to personal preference. If you prefer your salt a little bit more coarse, then go ahead, get yourself the either coarse sea salt or the one that you crush yourself. If you prefer it more on the fine side, then you could get the one that is already crushed and fine. Alright, it looks like it's almost ready. I need to get myself a smaller pan because this pan is pretty gigantic for a 6-egg scrambled egg. Ideally, I could probably get away with half of this pan size. But it's all I got right now, so this is what I'm using. Okay, it's pretty much almost done. We have just a few more seconds left. There we go, I think it's pretty much done. There we go, so that's what it's gonna look like right now. Now the next step is going to be to add in the yolks. Once I add in the yolks, I'm only going to leave it for a few seconds. Just enough that the yolks get nice and warm, but I don't want to cook the yolks. Alright, so I'm just going to let that sit there for a bit, put this in the sink, do a little cleanup. There we go. Okay, there we go. We have it done. It is all ready. So now time to just transfer it into the bowl. Hopefully I don't mess this up right now since I'm filming. I always nail this, and then of course as soon as I put the camera on, hopefully I don't screw it up. Yeah, there we go. Everything got in the bowl. Alright, and here is the finished product. So it almost comes out like an egg soup as opposed to scrambled eggs. I love it though this way. If you are not a fan of really liquidy eggs, then definitely you will not want to make this. However, if you do prefer it a little bit more on the runny side, this is amazing. I promise you guys, try it one time, see how it tastes. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That is how you make my favorite form of scrambled eggs. So there you have it, the best scrambled eggs you will ever have in your life. That covers it for today's video. Thanks for tuning in. I'm gonna leave you guys now so I can eat this. Once again, I'd like to ask that if you're either new to the channel or if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell because I will be uploading daily videos and I will be uploading a lot more recipe videos. And if there are any other recipes that you would like me to make, go ahead, put them down in the comments section and I will try my best to come up with some new recipes for you guys. That's it for today's video. Thanks for tuning in and I will see you again next time.